One day, they come in, oh, we're making the Evo phone, the Evo smartphone that's shipped through Verizon in the US, and then I'll start production line on that. And that may run for a few days. Then another day, they may change it to another model. Okay? And so the HCC have over 10, 15 models now. And they'll change those lines to fit different models. So every time you do a change, then you've got to change the testing equipment. You may have to change some of the operators. Okay? You may have to change some of the other parts on that line. And so that's what we mean by setups. Okay? So that doesn't happen every day. Okay? A setup occurs at the beginning of making a whole batch of maybe 500,000 smartphones. Okay? Then they'll start a new setup and make it 500,000 of a different type. Okay? So notice in activity-based costing, we're separating unit level from batch level. And then there's product sustaining level, which is the design. We're just trying to separate out the costs. Because if we want to make 1 million or 1.2 million, it may not incur extra setups, it may not incur extra design, there may not be more administration. But there will be more unit level output costs. That's what we're doing. So that's what we mean by 4 layers. Let's go give you one example to take home with you. I'm not going to give you any more than one. Just one example, just to show what the difference may be like. Okay? How many of you drive a car? Put your hand up. 1, 2, 3. How many of you can drive a car? Everyone can drive a car, right? I was driving tractors when I was 8 years old in Australia on the farm. Okay? My dad said to me, whatever you do, there's 4 gears on the tractor. Okay, you're too young to put it in the 4th gear. Okay, 4th gear is the top gear in the tractor. So when Dad wasn't home one day, you know what you do when you're a kid? You put in the 4th gear to see how fast the tractor can go. Anyway, so my point is that if you drive a car, then you know that the lenses for the rear tail lights are very important. Okay, so this is an automobile supplier to car manufacturers. And what is common in the automobile industry is if you're supplying tail lights, so are 10, 100 other suppliers. They are also supplying tail lights. They are competing. If you're supplying yours for $60, they'll come along next week and say, oh, 59. You put yours at 58, they'll go 56. They won't tell you. You won't know. You'll just get a smaller order from your customer and you'll ask, how come the orders go down? Oh, because your competitor's offering $5 less. Oh, really? Okay. And then you look back at your cost and you think, how can I do that? I can't. My simple costing system tells me it costs so much to make each one. How can I put it lower? And that's what this problem is about, you see. At the moment, the alternative supplier bids $53. Currently, this company is set a $63 price, which may be 10 cost plus markup. All right, so let's have a look at why you think their price is reasonable. Because originally, I cannot sell for 53. I'm going to be making a loss on every tail light based on the current job costing approach that we use. Management accounting 1 job costing approach. All right, so we go into activity-based costing. Before I do that, I just want to show you. So the operations manager of this company will say, well, hang on, how can my competitor do it? Look, it costs us $57 to make each unit. How can my competitor come along and say $53? If we go down to 52, we're going to be out of business. We're not going to make money. Okay? So that's what this problem is about. And this problem is very, very frequent. It happens every day in China. Seriously, I went to a trade expo. Went to a dozen of them last year. One of them was the touchscreen panel makers. there was over 100 exhibitors, each of them saying, oh, we make touchscreens. And we interview one, because we go to the expos, we interview them. So we interview one, and we always ask, oh, so how long have you had this customer? Their customer was TCL, and they were supplying 30,000 touchscreens to TCL. TCL is a major consumer electronics manufacturer in China. Per month, they were supplying 30,000 a month. Oh, how long? This was in November. When did you start with this customer? August. Oh, okay, all right, it's just a new customer. They must have been doing this for a long time. Oh, so how long have you been around? Oh, we're over 10 years old. Oh, so what were you doing before August? Oh, we were making car seat covers, car seat mats that go into cars. And we found that touchscreen is a good industry, a good opportunity to make money, so we bought the machines and started making touchscreens. There's change just like that. Okay? Things are moving so fast in China. You need to get in touch with that fast. Get in touch with that very quickly. This bidding and chain and price competition is so rampant in China. It's just part of doing business. So you need to know what your costs are if you're going to join this game. Chinese companies, 30%, told me cost control is their problem. I wonder why. Okay, with people coming in, they've never made. Competitors are coming in every month. They've never competed. They're making car seat mats. The next day, they're making touchscreens. One day, you have no competition for touchscreens. 1 month later, there's 100 other manufacturers doing the same thing. Overnight, you better know what your costs are, otherwise you're out of business. The average margin of touchscreen manufacturers now is only 10%. Okay? That is not much when you have to invest in millions of dollars of machinery. Okay? 10% margin. That's not much. Okay? So let's get back to this. This is why this example is relevant. Okay? If we do the normal allocation, we get 58.75. All I want you to take away is think about, if we do activity-based costing, we may have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 allocation bases. Why? Because maybe we want to separate out the labour hours or the administration from the design. The administration happens every day. The design may happen only once for every new product. Yes? No? Okay. The shipment happens only every batch. It doesn't happen every unit. So if you don't fill up a container, well, that's tough cheddar. You fill up half a container or one container, the shipment may be the same cost. Okay? So that's what we mean by a batch level cost, not a unit cost. Right? So now, with activity-based costing, we want to have different bases because those different costs are caused by different things in the organisation. Right? And so when we do the allocation, we do a different allocation. You can do the math and go home tonight and study this. You will find that we take out 270,000. Why? Because these costs here are allocated directly. In the past, they were allocated indirectly, but because they are direct mould cleaning and maintenance, they were... Sorry about that. It's a bit... I'm already loud. Okay. Take out. So now we have the difference, 270, but we're allocating much less to under the ABC system. Before, we were allocating $58, now we're allocating $49. No wonder why our competitor can drop it down to 53. Okay, so now we can compete. Okay, because we know that that's one side, okay, we can compete. We could actually do price competition. Okay? On the other side, we can think about, well, hang on, this more complex product, we thought it only cost us $97, now it's costing $132. Maybe we're not selling it for high enough. Maybe we should have a higher price on that. You see? So there's two things, two decisions that may force you to think differently. Any questions on that? Right, so conclusions. You can read the conclusions. But what we're doing is, instead of just got all the overhead together, we divide it by one rate. Now we've got all the overhead together, divided by different bases depending on when they occur. Some occur every time you make a new unit. Some occur every time you ship a container. Some occur when you pay the monthly rent. Okay? The causes of the different costs are different, so you should allocate them according to the causal activity. That's all we're doing. Okay? That's all we're doing. So, without giving you too much in your very first lecture, just trying to scare away those that are not sure about MA2, there is, I want you to think about Learning Objective 7, Learning Objective 8. Okay? And my last introduction, this is for next week. The next week. This is not in the textbook. You know why? Because I designed it myself. Okay. All right. Next week we're going to talk about value engineering. This is what a lot of companies do. They think about cost improvement by understanding what processes are going on, can we make the processes better? If they can't improve them, they may change product design. What is an example of a better product design? Taking out a component. Okay? Having one less component in the product. If it has the same functionality, then we've saved that component. So the design has allowed you to reduce the costs. So that's what we mean by here, product design. On PVA, it's about removing all the non-value-added activities. So the next week, we're going to look at these issues. The week after, we're going to look at a little bit more detail on how we can use activity-based costing to manage customers, okay, and suppliers. Okay. Yeah. It gets better, don't worry. It gets better. Okay. You see, how many of you travel? Put your hand up if you have travelled in a plane before. A stupid question, but it's always nice to get your feedback. Okay? All right. So, after next week, I'm going to be testing you. I want you to think about how a plane can manage its resources better. Do they change the product function, design, or the process? Okay? So I want you to think about what I teach you next week and then get you to apply that to what airlines are doing. Okay? Because airlines are doing this every day. Okay? Are there any questions on this? This is for next week. Okay? That's the big picture. We're going up and down, then up again for Management Accounting 2. Are there any questions? In the middle of a couple of things, I want to wish you have a fun Chinese New Year. Okay? When will you come back to will you be studying over the weekend? What a stupid question. Okay, next question. Will you be coming back to the university next Thursday? I know, but I'm coming back because I've got lots of work to do. When I come back next Thursday, I will be, well, I'm already working on it. Nemo knows too. Working on analysing these 600 Chinese suppliers and their responses and how they're managing their cost competition. So I'm doing that in the office, okay, all the time. in the middle of March, there is an expo in Shenzhen. It goes for 3 days. It's possible we can have 1 or 2 join us on each day, if any of you are interested in joining. Okay. The deal is we leave Hong Kong. We normally meet at Kowloon Station, Kowloon Tong, MTR at about 8:25. We meet there in the morning and we get home by about 7 o'clock. We take the express, well, not express, but we take the train to Lok Ma Chau, walk across the border, take 2 train stops, go to the expo. If any of you are interested in joining, just let me know. My normal consultation hours are Tuesday morning, okay, and Thursday morning, okay. Any other time by appointment. I'm also available after the lecture. If you want to see me after the lecture, it's okay. Okay, but just make sure you know what you want to consult on. Any questions? I'm really happy to teach MA2. Based on all the people I speak to in China and the problems they have, the things we teach in MA2 is just so relevant to the help that Chinese suppliers need. Okay, I want to help them. You have the opportunity to help them too. Okay? After you do your investment banking and make your millions, my hope that one day is that you will help Chinese factories modernise and become the best in the world. Okay, that's my dream. All right. So you can do your investment banking, do whatever, but make the money, then help China. All right. See you in 2 Tuesdays time. 2 Tuesdays. Not next Tuesday, Tuesday after. Okay. Any questions? You can see me after.